The NBA 2021 trade is now fully behind us, and just like we expected, there were a number of last-minute trades. Some were trade rumors that finally became true, and a few more just happened out of the blue. In the same vein, some of these rumors remained rumors, with the players in question staying in their respective teams. Well, it was a crazy ride as usual, and in this video, we'll take a moment to analyze all the deadline trades and also share with you the latest buzzing news in the NBA. Who made a last-minute move? Who didn't? Whose deal expired? Let's find out now. Welcome back to Courtside, where you get all the buzzing NBA news. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also share this with your pals. Just a few days back, the NBA mourned the death of Elgin Baylor at the age of 86. On Thursday, it was also announced that Stan Albeck, former San Antonio, Chicago, New Jersey, and Cleveland head coach, had died at the age of 89. The coach had died on Thursday in hospice care at the home of John Albeck, his son. According to John, his father suffered a stroke on the 14th of March, and this caused him to enter hospice care. The coach had also suffered a stroke in 2001 while he was still an assistant coach with Toronto. Stan Albeck had an interesting career that lasted for 46 years, from 1970 to 1971. He coached the ABA's Denver Rockets, and then went on to Cleveland in 79 to 80. The same year he left Cleveland, he went to San Antonio, where he stayed till 83. In 83, he joined New Jersey and stayed until 85. Then he went to Chicago in 1986, where he worked with Michael Jordan in his second season. With the San Antonio Spurs, the coach took the team to two consecutive Western Conference Finals in 82 and 83. To honor him, the Spurs held a moment of silence before their game with the Clippers. Spurs coach Greg Popovich said of the legend, "Coach Albeck wasn't just important to the Spurs, he was what I call a lifer. People like myself don't come close to loving the game as he did, and his whole family did. They participated in many ways and followed him to so many places. He would come to games, he would talk to players, talk to us as coaches. He always had a smile for us, a suggestion or two, because he's a coach. He is somebody who was always respected, and he brought a bright light to wherever he was." The coach had grown up in Illinois and started at Bradley. He got his first shot at coaching when he took the mantle at Adrian College in 1956. At Adrian, Northern Michigan, and the University of Denver, he spent a total of 14 seasons before he finally left for the Rockets in 1970. In 81, he was inducted into the Bradley University Sports Hall of Fame and was inducted into the San Antonio Sports Hall of Fame in 2014. The coach also worked as assistant coach with the likes of the Los Angeles Lakers, Atlanta Hawks, Toronto Raptors, San Diego Conquistadors, and the Kentucky Colonels. On the behalf of the family, the Spurs team released a statement. The coach was survived by his wife Phyllis and 5 children, Gary, Cherie, John, Roger, and Julie. His contribution to the game will not be forgotten. Julian Champagnie joined a fine sophomore season as he led the Big East in scoring. The player, who stands at 6'8" and weighs 220 pounds, is set to maintain this level of consistency in the event that he chooses to go back to college for his senior year. Just recently, Julian's brother, Justin Champagnie, who is a star forward at Pittsburgh, revealed that he was exploring his NBA options. Similarly, Julian has taken the path to explore his prospects. In a recent statement, Julian said, "After a long thought and multiple discussions with our coaching staff and my family, I've decided that it would be in my best interest to test the NBA draft process. The feedback that I will gain during this process will be very helpful in making my decision on returning to St. John's for my junior season. I really look forward to having this opportunity and developing into a better player, either for St. John's or in the National Basketball Association. Playing at the next level has always been a dream of mine, so I'm fully committed to getting better on and off the court each day." During his breakout season for the Red Storm, Champagnie averaged 19.8 points per game and 7.4 rebounds. He also made the first-team All-Big East selection, which was just a moment after he had been part of the All-Freshman team in 2019-20. This season, the player shot 43.3% from the field and 38% from the three-point. He made a record 88.7% of his free throws in the Big East, plus 1.4 steals and 1 block per game. There's no doubt that the departure of Julian is going to affect the team tremendously. The team has experienced a major improvement this season, and this can be largely attributed to the presence of Julian on the team. In the conference tournament, St. John secured the number 4 seed and also finished 4th at 10-9 in league play. However, the team was knocked out of the tournament at the quarterfinals in a tense game against Seton Hall. Here's a quick fun fact. Did you know that the father of the twins, Justin and Julian Champagnie, is Ranford Champagnie, a soccer player for the St. John's team that won the national championship in 1996? Talk about an athletic family. Aaron Gordon formally requested for a trade, and on the last day of the NBA trade, he got his wish. The Denver Nuggets have completed yet another aggressive move, and this time it involves one of the NBA's finest players, Aaron Gordon from the Orlando Magic. The Magic don't exactly lose out on the deal. In exchange for Gordon, the team will get Gary Harris, a veteran shooting guard, and rookie R.J. Hampton. They'll also take a first-round draft pick from the Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets also got Gary Clark, a receiving forward, as part of the trade package. The Magic went all out on the last day of the trade. They first agreed to send Nikola Vucevic to Chicago and Evan Fournier to Boston. Now this. Before leaving, the 25-year-old Gordon averaged 14.6 points per game and 4.2 assists. He was also the 4th overall pick by Orlando way back in 2014. Most would remember Gordon for his second-place position in the NBA Slam Dunk Contest in 2020, where he went down against Derrick Jones Jr. In 2016, the player also came in the second position, right behind Zach LaVine of Chicago. However, the player suffered a strained left hamstring injury that caused him to miss the playoffs last season. Analysts of the game expect that Gordon will immediately join Denver's starting rotation, joining the ranks of Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic, Will Barton, and Jamal Murray, and further help the Nuggets in pursuing their first NBA title. Let's see how Gordon fares with the Nuggets. Perhaps Aaron would be winning his first NBA title at the end of the season? Who knows? The Oklahoma City Thunder keeps planning for their future with every trade they complete. In a recent reveal, the Thunders now have over 34 draft picks after the trade of George Hill. Interestingly, the Thunder completed 3 trade deals that feature the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers, and these deals have given them second-round picks in both 2025 and 2026. Even though the team brought in the likes of Tony Bradley and Austin Rivers, the manager Sam Presti has mentioned that the most exciting part of the trade season is the draft capital that it comes with. This is a known Thunder strategy, and it has continued since the trades of Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook. These draft picks scattered over 7 years in no way guarantee that all of these players will be impactful, but it is a gold mine with a number of options and opportunities, and could be what the team needs to become a major force once again. Kyle Lowry was no doubt one of the most talked about players in the recent NBA trade. In fact, in his game against the Denver Nuggets, everybody thought that was his last outing for the Raptors, including Drake, who put a FaceTime call through right after the game. However, just at the last minute, the Raptors decided that the 6-time All-Star player will remain with the team for another few months. If he had made a move, he would have easily turned out as the biggest trade this season. But in a twist, he stayed with the Raptors. Nevertheless, Lowry will become a free agent this summer at the end of the season, and he would be able to once again decide where he wants to spend his future playing. Interestingly, some other prominent players like Bradley Beal and Lonzo Ball didn't end up being traded. After so many back and forths, the Miami Heat agreed to take Victor Oladipo for Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, and a first-round draft pick in 2022. This wasn't a surprise because Victor, who is 28, has been linked to the Heat since last season. The Heat has also been linked to Kyle Lowry, but as you already know, that one didn't happen. This season, Victor has averaged 20.8 points and 5 rebounds while also recording at least 4.7 assists per game. But the player has also suffered a number of consistent injuries, which not only affected his playing time, but also his value. Deadline day was a festival of sudden trades and a few surprises. Players like LaMarcus Aldridge completed his buyout process with the Spurs, putting him in free agency. The 7-time All-Star is most likely to join Miami Heat, but the player has corrected that he is talking with several teams. The Pelicans also traded J.J. Redick and Nicole Melli to the Dallas Mavs in exchange for James Johnson, Wesley Iwundu, and a 2021 second-round draft pick. Adrian Wojnarowski also reported that Daniel Tice will be moving to the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Mo Wagner, who the Bulls had just acquired from Washington. The Golden State Warriors also sent Brad Wanamaker to the Charlotte Hornets and Marquise Chris to the San Antonio Spurs. Even though the Raptors didn't trade Lowry, they ended up trading Terrence Davis to the Sacramento Kings in exchange for a future second-round draft pick. The Raptors also traded backup guard Matt Thomas to the Jazz for a draft pick in 2021. Perhaps the biggest trade from the Raptors was the trade of Norman Powell to the Portland Trail Blazers, a deal which gave them Rodney Hood and Gary Trent Jr. The LA Clippers also acquired Rajon Rondo from Atlanta, a deal that will give Atlanta the likes of Lou Williams, 2 future second-round draft picks, and money to go with it. Miami sent Mo Harkless and Chris Silva to the Sacramento Kings in a trade to acquire another versatile player, Nemanja Bjelica. The Boston Celtics also added some backcourt depth as they finalized the deal with Orlando Magic for Evan Fournier. In exchange, they got 2 second-round picks. The 2021 NBA trade was no doubt filled with surprises and a few letdowns. Which of these players do you think will do very well or otherwise? Tell us about it in the comments section. We are Courtside.